our course code is 18ME-RB0. Right, so today we are going to see the basics of pneumatics. Right, so pneumatics, it's one of the fluid power. It uses air as a medium, air as a source. Right, air as a medium. Right, so we begin with introduction. The Industrial Revolution. So it began with the France in the year of 1700. In the year of 1700. Right, so why we need fluid power means that the fluid power has increased a lot because of the industrial revolutions. So industrial was born because of the limitation of humans as the source of power. So previously all the process done by the manual, right? So with the help of human. So humans tend to get tired, bored, distracted or sick. So due to this human output lacks consistency, accuracy and precision. So in order to avoid human lacks or to reduce human intervention, we go with fluid automations. So machines have a long service life, tremendous strength, work 24 hours a day, and do not suffer from any of the shortcomings seen in the humans. The only thing, we need to maintenance, right? Every annual maintenance or periodical maintenance we need to perform. Otherwise, the machine will do consistently. Right, so this part of introduction. So in order to automate, we have variety of working medium. One is pneumatics, another one is the hydraulics, the third one is the electricity and electronics, and many more. Right, so here I listed only 3, and but it has many more. Sometimes it is a combination of above. Generally, hydraulics can be used separately nowadays, but pneumatics generally they use in combination with the electrical and electronics. Right, so combinations of above. So combination of technologies offers synergy, has the capability of expanding the scope of application tremendously. Right, so the introduction part again, the fluid power system are generally grouped under 2 broad categories of pneumatic as well as hydraulics. So we have 2 main category. One is a pneumatic, another one is a hydraulic. So pneumatic system uses gas. Gas means it usually medium is air. Hydraulic system uses liquid. Medium is oil. Right, so what is pneumatics? Okay, what is pneumatics? So pneumatic power. So pneuma means it's a breathe or wind. So it's a Greek word. It refers the breathe or wind. So pneumatic is the name given to the branch of physics which treats with the properties and motions and the behavior of air. Right, so the air, it may be the atmospheric air, or it may be some application we require specific air or nitrogen or hydrogen something. So pneumatic is a name given to the branch of physics which treats with the properties, motions and the behavior of air. Okay, so again we know that fluid power. So fluid power means it transfers forces and motions. So pneumatics transfers forces and motions, driving, controlling and moving with optimum adapter technologies. Right, so adapter technologies, it means we cannot use pneumatics in all the situations. It doesn't meet all the requirements because the reason is the compressibility factor. So it is an adapter technology. So driving, controlling and moving with the optimum adapter technology. So pneumatic describes the theory and the technology of the compressed air as a drive, control and regulation medium. So the mainly pneumatics uses air as a medium. In modern plants, pneumatic components are used mainly in combination with electrical and electronic components. So nowadays, pneumatics cannot be used separately because it has a compressibility factor. Compared to hydraulics, it has some limitations, more limitations. So generally, it is combined with the electrical and the electronics. Right. So why we choose pneumatics? The reason is one is high speed. It gives a high speed. It works high speed. Inexpensive and mature technology. Easily available, low on cost. So it is inexpensive. Atmospheric air is available in all world. So it's a reliability, long service life and storage. The reason is service life increased because it won't get any wear. So long service life and the storage is very easy. Transportable, so no lost power during the storage. Transportable, we can use pipes to transport air. So safety. Can be used hazardous, sensitive or clean room areas, right? So Here we can use it. It has more safety purpose. Gold mines, petroleum refining, LPG bottling. So these are some of the hazardous places where we can use pneumatics to control or to do the process. Medical and pharmacies, medicine and pharmacies. So generally the packing of medicines done by the pneumatics, because if you use hydraulics, it may leaks. The hydraulics, it is one of the chemical content, so it may react with the medicine and it will hazardous to human. So the medicine and the pharmaceutical application nowadays they use pneumatics, right? So what are the advantages of pneumatics? The one is availability. Air is available everywhere. Transport, air can be easily transported in pipelines even over a long distance, so we can easily transport. Storage, compressed air can be stored in and removed from the reservoir, so we can easily store in the reservoir. Reservoir is nothing but it is one of the storage device. The temperature, compressed air is insensitive to temperature fluctuations, so the variations of temperature doesn't affect the air, compressed air. The explosion proof, so air will not burn generally. If it is oxidizing content is there, then it will burn, but generally it won't burn. Working pressure is around 6 bar only, so very limited pressure only, so it's safe, hence explosion is proof, right? Cleanliness, compressed air is clean since any air which leaking pipes or elements does not cause escape through the contaminations, so generally it has a good cleanliness. So simple components, the operating components are simple in construction compared to hydraulic. Pneumatic components are simple in nature. The speed, compressed air is very fast working medium. Overload safety, one of the main advantages in pneumatic fluid power is overload safety. If you use electrical or electronic sources, if the overload happen, the entire components will damage. But pneumatics is hydraulics, it won't damage the components. It will stop the process. So pneumatic tools and operating components can be loaded to the point of stopping, and they are therefore overload safe. Maintenance cost, so initial cost is high. So pneumatics compared to hydraulics, pneumatics initial cost is high, but maintenance cost is very low because there is no wear and tear, right? The total cost is minimum, so it is economical. And some of the advantages are whenever the force required is less than 50,000 newtons, right? So our application requires only less than 50,000 newton, then we go with pneumatic. It's a very easy process. So displacement is the range of 2 mm to 3 meter. So minimum distance. So if the displacement is the range of 2 mm to 3 mm, we can use pneumatics. As well as we can use some types of special rodless cylinder, so that we can increase the displacement up to 10 meter, right? So this is one of the advantages. So pneumatic operation very fast or faster than hydraulic. The reason is hydraulic it moves 0.5 meter per second, so every second it will move 0.5 approximately, but pneumatic it will move 1.5 meter per second. Right, so with impact cylinder velocity up to we can move up to 7 meter per second is also possible if we use impact cylinder. Right, this is one of the advantages. Another one is in air drop in pressure is not large. In hydraulic return lines are required. It can be transferred over a long distance up to 100 meter. Hydraulic is not good for 100 meter, right? So if you want to transport a very long distance, we can transport the fluid with the help of pipes, but 100 meter or more than 100 meter. Generally we use pneumatics because leakage may happen, so it won't affect human. So hydraulics return lines up to 100 mm we never use. So this is one of the advantages. But we have some limitations in pneumatics. The preparation. So the compressed air requires good preparation. So if you want to prepare compressed air, you need a special equipment to compress air. So it is one kind of investment. The second one is compressible. This is one of the major disadvantages or limitation. Due to compressibility, it is not always possible to achieve uniform and constant piston speed with the compressed air. So, for example, if you want to lift your bike or your car, we never use pneumatic because due to the weight of vehicle, it will affect the air. If you use pneumatic, due to the compressibility factor, it cannot move, right? At that case we use incompressible fluids. right? So force available, compressed air is economically only up to certain force requirement. Under the normal working pressure of 6 to 7 bar and dependent on the travel and speed, the output limit is between 2000 to 3000 kg. So we can use up to limitations up to 2000 to 3000 kg. Another one is important disadvantage is noise level. So we see in our automobile bike, right? So we use a silencer. So the exhaust air is loud. The problem has now, however, been largely solved due to the silencer. If you use silencer, we can reduce the noise level, right? So and initial investment cost. So as I said earlier, the initial investment cost is high, but maintenance cost is low. So one of the limitation is initial investment cost. So compressed air is relatively expensive means of conveying power. The high energy cost partially compensated by inexpensive components and higher performance. So we can compensate by inexpensive components. So force above 50,000 hydraulic is commercial over the pneumatic. So as I said earlier, less than 50,000 Newton only we can apply. We can use pneumatics. When cylinder moves, slip and stick motion exists. So sometimes if you use pneumatic, the cylinder can slip and stick motions. So displacement is not smooth because of jigs or because of compressibility factor. Air has to be freed from dust, right, humidity and moisture, right? So air, it should be the dry air. It won't be the moisture air. So if you use moisture air, then wear and tear occur. So we need to ensure whether we use dry air. So it free from dust, humidity and moisture. Otherwise, it will corrode and spoil the sealing elements. So air preparation is required. So these are some of the limitations. The next thing is applications. Okay, right? So what are the applications we use? So widely used manipulating products in manufacturing, processing and packaging operations. So manipulation means it can be movement or it will do some process. So pneumatics are also widely used in medical and food processing equipment. As I said earlier, if the leakage may happen, it won't affect the medicines. So that's why we use food processing and medical packaging. We use pneumatics. So pneumatics is typically thought of as pick and place technology, where pneumatic components work in concert to perform the same repetitive operation thousands of times per day, right? So in pick and place robots, we use grippers to hold the object, and we use grippers to move the object. So the grippers are working with the help of pneumatics. Other applications are packaging, medical, factory automation, material handling, food and beverage, off and on highway vehicle systems, right? So again, the motion, it may be the linear motion or it may be the rotary motion. So for example, the linear motion applications are clamping the tool. So if you want to tool clamping, you can use pneumatics. Feed units, lifting and lowering, right? So lifting and lowering, we use pneumatics, but generally the weight, if it is more than 3000 kg or something, or limitation we have. So if it is more than that limited weight, then we need to use hydraulic. But we can lift the object. Opening and closing, swiveling, pneumatic presses, door controllers, rotary transfer tables, etc. So these are some of the linear motion examples. Another one is a rotary motion example is screwdrivers, right? So screwdrivers, automated screwdrivers, we use pneumatic power source, grinders, thread cutters, drills. The dental drills are made by the pneumatics and shears. So our application in industry, generally it is used in many industry such as automobile, petroleum refining, petrochemical, food, packaging, robotics, electronics. Whenever the hazardous may happen, that place we can use pneumatics, right? So thank you, right.